The main idea or the main concept behind my teaching is that the practicing spirituality is to live your everyday life. And usually people, they tend to come to spirituality to be special. But why to be or to become special if you are unique already? And the best proof of that is your fingerprints, as well as your iris, as well as your DNA. You are already one and only as a human being, and you are so diverse just because you are absolute being.
Definitely, firstly to be kind street. So it's very nice. It's also a good example of the person.
So, for me, this path and this teaching, the path of the Shakti, is to unbecome. To unbecome who you are not, to be who you always were. It is the journey into the true you, true yourself, as a human being first, and as an absolute being too. So just come as you are, just because that's everything what you've got.
I have been practicing yoga and meditation for maybe about 20 years by now, and I'm a yoga teacher. And I met Lina 2 years ago at a retreat, coming with no expectations really, coming with my boyfriend, and just expecting a nice meditation retreat. It was in Sweden that time. And it also was with another teacher together with Lina. And I had this very instant connection with Lina and her presence. And I was very affected by the Shakti Path that she was giving. For me, the Shakti Path, if I would compare it to other meditation experiences, it's sort of an embodied experience of lots of love and warmth in the heart, and it's really hard to put it into words, I think, but you can really feel something is happening within you. And for me also, even though I've been on a path and a lot of things have helped me with on the way, I feel like the Shakti was a real, boost for, how should I put it, just my evolving. It felt like things were starting to happen, like Lina teaches that once you have this initiation, the Shakti starts working within you, and for me it has been affecting me, both my feelings and how I feel about myself, but also what I do, and new things coming into my life. So I'm really grateful for that. And I want to say one thing about Lina's presence compared to other teachers, though. She says this no-nonsense, straightforward. Also, I appreciate it's a woman, she's a mother, and I guess I can relate to that, and it's really down to earth. It's not connected to any religion or anything, she's just speaking the truth.
Spirituality is nothing separate from the life, because the heart is needed in your everyday life. So to be spiritual is to be open to the life, to be open to yourself, to let yourself be the way you are, and to learn. Because all the life is about the evolution, is about the evolution of you as a human being and as a consciousness too.
I stumbled onto this road kind of at the end of my rope after having passed through many different kinds of practices. I was going through many ceremonial practices like plant medicine, for example, lots of meditation, lots of yoga and inner contemplation, but nothing really seemed to really bring me into that deepest core of myself and really find that peace and love that I was looking for. But about 3 years ago, I met Lina for the first time, and ever since then my life has really changed in ways that is really indescribable through words. My life has changed in every possible way, and I have changed in every possible way, coming closer to who I really am and really been able to live life from that peace that I was looking for such a long time.
My journey on spiritual path on Shakti Path started about 3 years ago. Before I also tried some spiritual practices, but Shakti Path was the path that it like put a hook in my heart and just pulled me automatically. It was without any thinking or without any hesitation that it's the right path, at least for me. And I'm very, very grateful that it was like very easy to start going to this path because of the trust that I had in the path itself, and also Lina, because when I just met her, it was this strong connection that not just like you feel with some people that you get along with, but more like that she is going to take care of you and that she's going to help you with whatever that you're going through. And it was very important to me, and I'm sure that for anyone else, to really feel by heart that this person, this teacher, can help you go through and teach you.
Lina is really the most beautiful teacher that I've been able to come across, and from the moment that I met her, I really felt that she's an incredibly humble human being, and at the same time she embodies the highest form of spiritual teaching that you can wish for, really, at least in my eyes, because she really, one of her main phrases is that, you know, spirituality, applied spirituality is everyday life. And what I was looking for a long time was going to retreats and having these intense experiences and kind of hoping that, you know, everything would change in one moment. But what she has taught me is to really come back and live life as it is, and not look for all of these great experiences, but finding peace in the little things and really finding peace in life as it is. So I think that's one of the greatest things that she's helped me with, to come back to myself and really start to enjoy life as it is right now. And from that peace, everything else has started to change as well, and life has started to align in a way that really excites me and really brings about that passion and that love for life again. So thank you, Lina. Thank you so much.
No, just like I'm looking at them. This purification comes on many levels, so it can come as a situation. So what is actually awakened Kundalini? Awakened Kundalini is first of all awakened consciousness. There's awakened consciousness within yourself because you are this Kundalini, because this Kundalini Shakti created you as a human being. So awakening of your consciousness, deepening of your consciousness, which is leading to the real knowledge of yourself. You as a human being first, and you as a universal being. And this energy was already within you. So it's just a journey inside you.
It's been almost 3 years now since I discovered Shakti Path as a spiritual community and received my first transmission. Initially I didn't notice much, but you know, something inside of me somehow kept me in, and I continued for another couple of months, joining for the weekly meditations as well as for the weekend retreats. you know, and I kind of trusted that this is the path for me, in a sense. So what was really interesting that the community and the team consists of people who are very welcoming, and you know, among these people you can feel like at home, you can be yourself. And what's also important for me that these guys we are sharing the same vision towards what's important. And people are very keen on delving deep inside, discovering their inner selves, and you know, it resonates with me and allows me to stay on point while doing my own work. So that kind of drove me forward over the months. And after a while, I, you know, started to feel more. My emotions starting to emerge from my thick skull. So that was extremely interesting and rewarding. So I could go deeper whenever I meditate, whenever I do self-inquiry, and those feelings come up in my body, and I can monitor these things. So it was kind of a first sign that something is really going on, and there is more to it. So that was very important for me. The person who was stuck in mind for more than 10 years. So it was a good revelation for me to understand that, you know, this path leads somewhere. So what's also important, the key things, it stuck with me, you know, surrender, devotion, and love. These three keywords allows me, it's like a mini mantra for myself, that surrender, allowing things to be, don't be controlling, and you know, don't be very keen on making things work the way you think they should work. So that allowance for things to flow, it became an important piece in my day-to-day life. You know, it allows me to relax more, to allow for things to happen in their own way, and then discover the results they are leading to. So that was really nice. The devotion piece I'm still working on. You know, it's not my nature to be very like bhakti yoga like. To be devoted, but I'm discovering that, you know, Shakti Path and the community here helps you to excel in other areas of spiritual community, such as different kinds of yoga, you know, reading spiritual texts, and all of a sudden this text makes sense, you know, and you can derive meaning both ways. So it's very rewarding as an integral boost to whatever you do in life, you know, personally, spiritually, or even professionally. So that's kind of an integrative solution for me.
So what does it mean, unbecome? The unbecome, it means that as a human being, we are identifying ourselves with our beliefs, with our thoughts, with our emotions. And there's so many identifications we have, like being a mother, being a son, being a daughter, being a good employee, employer, CEO, and so on, so on. So all that is actually our experience, is our character we are playing here. But we have this tendency to identify with all that. And as well as we are identifying ourselves with the body and with this personality, with the personality we are. So this path is about to start to see, stop identifying with that, to start to seeing, start to be aware of that, and then to accept it, or to leave it aside, what you are not, what is not about you as a human being. So that what actually is calling liberation, that's what actually liberation is. The liberation is when you are stopping to identify yourself with all those qualities, with all those emotions, with all those thoughts, and you ultimately realizing that you are only experiencing all that. You as this consciousness, you as this universal being. So because Kundalini Shakti is the same consciousness, but is your personal Shakti, is your personal self. So it is guiding you to this recognizing of yourself as this huge, beautiful, everlasting and eternal consciousness. This astral body still needs to, because dying out. So basically, what is Shaktipat? Shaktipat is awakening of the energy you already have. It is awakening of the Kundalini Shakti. The Kundalini Shakti is the energy which has created you, out of which you became a human being. So this is the divine particle which is in everything what has been created. There are two aspects of everything what is here. One aspect is the pure being, or the Shiva aspect. And there is another aspect to it. There is all this creative energy, meaning everything what has been manifested. And this energy called Shakti. So this union of those two aspects of Shiva and Shakti is everything what is here. So Kundalini Shakti is this Shakti which has created you. It's just in the dormant, in the sleeping state. So Shakti Path awakens this sleeping Shakti for you to liberate yourself from those attachments you were attaching yourself to, those identifications you were identifying yourself with. And that means liberation. Liberation doesn't mean to get rid of everything. Liberation means stop identifying with all that and realize that as a one huge experience, which you as the consciousness is experiencing.